One of the hardest choices you need to make when first starting Marvel Future Revolution is picking which hero you actually want to main. Now, resources in the game are very tight, they're also time gated, so unless you're a whale you cannot really main more than one hero. So this leaves you with two choices. The first is to pick your hero based on the fact you're a huge fan of them and if they are available at launch. I know for sure if Hawkeye was available I would be maining him regardless of his playstyle. If your favourite character isn't available, then the second choice you really have is picking a character based on their playstyle, and that's what we're actually going to run over in this video. We're going to look at 8 different launch heroes that are available. We're going to break down their general playstyle, and this will give you a good idea if you actually want to main that particular character when the game goes live tomorrow. We're almost there, it's almost the global launch date. So we'll jump in. The first character we'll actually check out will be Black Widow. So Black Widow can be played as either ranged, melee or a mix of both. She has a mixture of guns, gadgets and stealth, so thematically she feels very much like Black Widow should. So if you're a fan of Black Widow you're going to love how she actually plays. She has access to a ton of crowd control. The only other character that I would say has got such a wide range of crowd control would be Doctor Strange. But within her kit she actually has access to bleed, blind, poison, shock, stun and also knockback. These are primarily available in her melee kit, so if you want a strong melee crowd control hero, she can really excel at that. On the range side of things, she has exceptionally high burst damage. With the exception of Captain America, under the right circumstances, I would say she's actually got the highest burst damage in the game. This really helps her excel in PvP when you play your Dimensional Duel, that's your one-on-one modes, and also in PvE when going up against bosses. Many people, I would say, from the last 2 months of soft launch would agree that Black Widow is potentially the strongest hero in the game. She's certainly way up there as one of the strongest heroes. So that's Black Widow. Let's check out the next character. The next hero we have here is Captain America. Playstyle wise, he can be a tank, he can be a brawler character, he can be a support character, or if you want he can be a mix of all three. Now he has a really interesting unique mechanic, it's called the vibration gauge. So with this, certain abilities will have a tag called vibration absorption. When you use them you'll fill up the yellow meter you can see on screen at the moment. Once that's at 100%, you can use a Vibranium release skill to boost the damage of that skill by 30%. So this essentially allows him to store up damage and then release it just when you actually need it. Other elements of his kit, he has some pretty awesome team buffs. He's the only hero with life on hit, so that saves you a lot of gold because you don't have to buy as many med kits. He's got really high guard break, so that's great in PvE and PvP. In PvE specifically, that will be for your bosses. He's got a specialisation when he can convert defence into damage, so that's real fun. The more tanky he gets, the more damage he actually puts out. And he also has an exceptionally hard hitting ultimate. It has to be under the right circumstance, but under the right circumstance I believe players have hit around about 2 million damage on him, which is just absolutely incredible. Few downsides: he can be slow to level, he's not amazing at AoE and he can't fly. So unless you actually intend to main him, I wouldn't recommend playing him as your first character just to level up and get used to the game. When leveling, he is also a hero you need to often play manually rather than auto, but once geared at end game, he can easily auto blitz, raids, and he just face tanks bosses all day with his insane survivability. So overall, he is definitely a great hero. He feels very tactical to play, which for me is exactly how Cap should actually feel. Now let's check out the next hero. The next hero we have here is Captain Marvel. She's a hybrid style hero, so she's got a selection of melee and range moves. She is primarily a single target character, however she does still have some AoE in her kit. Now she is a very slow starter, but with specialisations she has the potential to be exceptionally strong. The specialisations late game will provide her with an incredible amount of survivability and a huge amount of damage as well. This will really help you out in both PvE and PvP. Some build options that are available on her. You've got one that's all around building her ultimate skill and trying to get as high uptime on the buff that comes alongside that. The buff that comes with her ultimate skill provides you with full crowd control immunity, which is exceptional, and 50% increased damage. She also has a really fun movement based build, which is all about dodging and using movement skills which you can actually spam. And then finally you've got a range setup you can run that's all about using the cosmic energy skills for her. She's actually the hero that I decided to main in the soft launch, and I'm very strongly thinking I may actually main her when I restart on the EU servers as well. So I really do enjoy her playstyle, and it's the potential she has at late game. Don't be put off if you're playing her and you feel that you're having a bit of a slow start with her. At late game, she really can be amazing. Next up we have Doctor Strange here alongside Captain Marvel. This is probably the two heroes that I'm trying to decide which one I'm actually going to main myself. It's really difficult to pick. But with Doctor Strange, he's the strongest support hero in the game. He has access to numerous buffs that apply to both himself and allies as well. So these buffs include an increase to defense pierce, a cleanse and debuff immunity, and also cooldown decrease. And as mentioned, this is for Doctor Strange and allies. Whilst he is a great support hero, he's no slouch when it comes to putting out damage either. He has a cooldown reduction setup where he can spam skills, and it actually really reminds me of the builds you could run with him in Marvel Heroes, where it was all about spamming skills and just running your fingers over the keyboard. It feels very much like that. You can also run a semi-summoner setup, which is a lot of fun as well. Overall, exceptionally strong hero, probably the most varied cat out of all the heroes. So if you want to play a character that will be able to be tailored to various different play modes, it will take you a lot of time to invest in them to get to that point, but Doctor Strange can definitely be a great call for that. The next hero we have here is Iron Man. It's another hybrid character, so he's a mixture of melee and ranged attacks. Thematically, he has everything you would expect from Iron Man. So that includes beams, rockets, satellite strikes, and even House Party Protocol, where he summons Iron Legion bots to fight alongside him. The various different pieces of utility he has in his kit means he can be very good in numerous scenarios, but it almost makes him a jack of all trades and a master of none. Now, he is a great character to start off for a new player because he is effective in all modes, but once again, a warning, he doesn't really excel in any one mode, that is unless you're a whale with over 1 million power. Some of his moves can feel a little bit on the clunkier side. This isn't something I've noticed with other heroes, but with Iron Man he has various moves. It may be a prolonged beam attack, for example, and what happens is if the enemy moves, it doesn't actually track them. So you could fire off this beam and the enemy just simply moves out the way of it, and you'll be a sitting duck while you actually cast that. Overall though, it is still a fun hero to play, and I would say that if you're someone that's coming into the game, you're really not sure who to play, you want an all-round character that can do good in every mode but not excel in any of them, then it could be a good bet to go for Iron Man. The next hero we have here is Spider-Man. When the game first came out in soft launch, a lot of people believed he was one of the weakest heroes in the game, and he became a bit of a meme in global chat. However, the more people actually played him and leveled him up, they realised that he's possibly one of the strongest heroes in the game, if not the strongest, up there with Black Widow for sure. His kit is all about dodging and crowd control, so it makes him very good in PvP, but he can still do very well in PvE. He has access to two different debuffs. One of them is called Weapon, the other one is Shock. So Weapon is a unique debuff. It allows you to decrease enemy movement speed and their accuracy rate. So accuracy rate is actually a counter to dodge, and Spider-Man is all about dodge. So if you can lower the enemy's accuracy rate, they'll be less likely to actually hit you. The unique mechanic on Weapon as well that works just on regular enemies, it won't work on bosses, is you can actually cocoon them and cover them in webs, which looks pretty awesome, and it will stun the enemy for 4 seconds as well. So this is really pretty amazing. He is very gear dependent, as he either needs a lot of dodge for survivability, or he'll need debuff accuracy to ensure that his debuffs actually land for a crowd control setup. So overall, very strong hero, but just be warned, he does require a fair bit of investment before he actually shines. The next hero we have here is Star-Lord. He's a crowd control and damage style hero. He's possibly the least popular hero out of the 8 launch heroes, and he does have a pretty bad reputation, although I don't feel that is fully earned. I believe the reason he has a bad reputation is that he needs a lot of investment to actually get the most out of him, and people are trying to mix the various different elements on him as well. He has access to freeze, shock and fire. I see a lot of people trying to mix the 3 of them, but to get the most out of Star-Lord you actually just need to run one of the elements. He is very gear dependent, but his regional sets can be exceptional on him because his regional sets can buff, rather than a few skills, they can buff his entire tree of skills. So you could have every fire skill having +6 on them once that's actually maxed out. In regards to the elements he's got fire, which is fantastic for PvE damage. Recently I was running a Maestro Blitz with a Star-Lord and he'd done over 10 million damage, which was just amazing. They were running the fire build. He's also got his frost build, which can actually really be great for your PvP and for doing crowd control and PvE as well. So another character that does require a lot of investment, but if you're a big Star-Lord fan, you're willing to invest in him, then you will get some pretty great results. It's just going to take a fair amount of time. The final hero we look at here is Storm. She is an AoE crowd control caster. She has access to both shock and chill status effects as part of her kit. She also has one of the best defensive skills in the game, 4 seconds of invulnerability, and without spoiling anything, it makes the final boss fight in the game exceptionally easy. Now, while she has great AoE damage, she can be spec'd into doing some pretty fantastic single target damage as well. Crowd control wise, she's got her shock and her chill, but she actually has numerous skills that can knock down or knock back enemies, and whilst this only works on mobs, it won't work on supervillains, it can't be resisted at all. She is a very fast hero to farm due to all the AoE she's got in her kit, so if you're looking to perhaps rush to level 100 as quickly as you can on a hero, then Storm can be a fantastic hero for doing that. So overall, another absolutely great character. So that is the 8 different launch heroes that are available in Marvel Future Revolution. Let me know who you intend to actually main in the comments below, and let me know if this video has helped. If it has, take time to hit the like, share and subscribe button. Bear in mind as well, with these videos I've actually got longer beginner's guides for each of the 8 characters. They're on for about 20 minutes long. They cover absolutely everything you need to know about the characters in question as well, so keep an eye out for those videos on the channel. But thanks for tuning in for this, stay safe, I'll see you all again soon.